love. We sing about it, we talk about it. Problem is, we don't always live it. And therein is the challenge. It's not easy to forgive someone who's truly hurt us, someone who's betrayed us, someone who's let us down, someone who's disappointed us. Maybe it's been a loved one or a family member who should have protected us or stood up for us. Those are deep wounds that take a very long time to heal. But yet, as people of faith, we can never allow the demon of anger, revenge, and resentment to lurk, because he quickly lurks outside of us and can quickly enter into our hearts and change us. We all know firsthand that when we call to mind being let down, hurt, or disappointed by someone, how that changes our whole attitude. It brings a heaviness to us anytime we just call it to mind. And that's the power, the negative power, anger has for us. And while anger is a very real emotion that we all struggle with, it is through the eyes of faith and the love of Christ that we are called to challenge that emotion, to work through that emotion, and to let it go. It's much easier said than done, but it's a process we need to begin. And the first thing we need to do is to pray. There's an old saying, to err is human, to forgive is divine. And there's a lot of truth to that. Because when we forgive as Christ has forgiven us, we act in the person of Christ. And that's only something that happens through grace. Are we inviting that grace into our lives? Are we praying for that strength to be able to let go of that resentment, to forgive that person who has hurt us deeply, to move on? We're never going to do it by ourselves. If we're not inviting Christ's grace in, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Step number 2, we have to actually try to move on. That means we have to try to let things go. We have to stop playing back the tapes in our minds, stirring up those negative feelings and emotions. We have to try to start moving in a positive direction. And while that doesn't happen for any of us overnight, it's something we need to be engaged in. It's something we need to be trying to do. And all of this needs to be under the umbrella of recognizing that what Jesus asks of us, to love our enemies, to forgive those who have hurt us, may seem unrealistic, but he's not only asked us to do it, he's shown us how to do it. Because we can never forget, we by sin make ourselves the enemies of God. We hurt Christ when we sin, but yet time and time again, he loves us, he forgives us, he takes us back. And he showed us the extent of that by dying on the cross for us. That needs to be the example that constantly sticks in our minds, to fill us with courage, to push us forward, to inspire us to continue to try to be people of love and forgiveness, to be people like Christ. We can never forget the greatest commandment Jesus gave at the Last Supper. Love one another as I have loved you. He wasn't talking about a hypothetical, ethereal kind of love. He was talking about a real love that he should put into practice and demonstrate it for us by his love for us. That is a big challenge, without a doubt. But Christ has shown us by his example how we are called to love and forgive. Inspired by that example, helped by his grace, and moved by his love for us, may we strive to actually integrate that and to practice that in our lives. Not a homily, but a very challenging thought for all of us to think about.